In this video I'm going to introduce you to HTML and get you to create a personal profile. So this is the type of thing that we're after. You can see in my Chrome browser I've got a personal profile page. It's got some headings in here and then some paragraph answers based on each of those headings. We've also got a unordered list here, and we've got a couple of links down the bottom. And so that's our aim today. That's your success criteria in order to achieve today's lesson. Okay, in Google Classroom, for those of you who are in my Year9 IST class, I've put a page with a whole lot of links in there. You'll see that I've got an index.html bare bones HTML template. Now, I went through this the other day in class, but this is for the people who were off doing the musical. So the way that this bare bones template works, the first thing you need in a HTML5 page is a doc type, and what that does, that line, the doc type HTML line, tells the browser, which is going to pass the web page, that it is a HTML document. So it's giving it information about the type of things to expect in that document. The way HTML tags work is you can see that they're inside a less than and a greater than side. So for each starting tag, so here's my starting HTML tag, there should be a finishing tag. And our escape character, the thing that tells us that it's a finishing tag, is the slash key. So you can see there's my start of HTML, and this one here would represent the end of HTML. As we look through our document, here's the start of my header information, and here's the end of my head information. Here's the start of my title, and here's the end of my title. And so anything that you'd put in between there, so you can see the current title of my page is template. Now the title of your page is the thing that appears up the top here in your browser. So when we write title template in the header section of our HTML, what it's actually doing is going to put template up into the title section. So that's going to be the label that appears on the tabs in the browser. The body section of your web page is the information that's actually appearing in the main part of your browser. So this section here, the window of your browser. And so at the moment I've got one paragraph, so the P tag means start a new paragraph. This is the end of that paragraph, and my first paragraph simply says my test. And so if we change that text, then that would change the text that's in our HTML. Now for today, we are going to run through a separate document in order to catch you up. So if you have a look in here and find the document number 6, the intro to HTML, I've created a structure in there for you to be able to use. I've also got the instructions up the top of that document. So you're going to need to copy Notepad++ from our network R drive and put it into your own W drive, and that way you'll be able to install plugins and things like that on it. Notepad++ is like a text editor that's on steroids. It's got a whole lot of extra features built into it to help you as you're editing HTML. Okay, so you can get that from the Notepad++ website if you are using a BYOD device, but if you're just using our school network today, then copy Notepad++ from R drive, put it into your W drive so that you can play around with some of the plugins later on. Then in your own personal documents folder, so in your W drive, create a folder called www. We're going to put all the files for our website into that folder. Then you need to copy all of this text into a blank document in Notepad++ and then personalize the HTML. So I'm going to run through some of the different parts of this document. Alright, so I've already explained the header and the body. You can see here I've got H1. H1 is a heading and it's size number 1, so that's our biggest heading. H2, you can see down here, is a subheading, and so it's a little bit smaller. You can use different levels of heading throughout your document in order to show the levels of the information. So if I jump back to my personal profile, you can see here's my H1 personal profile, nice and big, and then my H2s are slightly smaller. H3 would be smaller again, and so on. Alright, so that's our headings. I've already explained the paragraphs. So when you start a paragraph, you would just type P inside a tag code and then /P to finish. In order to insert an image, you'd use this tag here. So this is the tag that says image, and images have an attribute. Okay, so some HTML tags you can add extra attributes inside of them to explain what it's going to look like. So the image is going to have a source, and the source is me.jpg. So that's the file name that's in the same folder as this document in order to do that. Now I've changed mine, so if you have a look at my Notepad++ document right here, this is my personal profile document, not your template. You can see I've said that the image right here, the source is images/me.jpg. That's because I've put my images, if I show you my Explorer window here, inside a subfolder. So you can see here I've got my index.html file, which I've saved, index.html, and then inside my images folder I've got me.jpg, which is the photo that's going to appear on my web page. And I've also changed the attribute for a line, which is going to become equal to right, and that's going to push it across to the right hand side. Okay, so today you need to please copy this template, edit the text to match your own in order to catch up, and then we're going to move on from that to actually style the document. So at the moment you can see there's no styling, it's just paragraphs and headings. We want to actually put this in a container to make it narrow down the middle of the page, and we're also going to change some of the colors and some of the backgrounds and some of the fonts in order to improve the aesthetics, the appearance of this page. Alright, so if you can do that, and then once you've finished this first video, you can then have a look at the second video, which is looking at styling our page.